This is the evening news for Wednesday, September 18, 2013. I am Leanna Bradshaw. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. AFC in deep trouble as more members defect to APNU. CARI Forum eyes successful 11th EDF seminar. President Ramatar rewards NGSA top students. New international fast food complex opens. And mechanic charged 14 years after committing murder. Now for the news in detail. The Alliance for Change was this afternoon struggling to explain the deflection of several of its top officials as the party grapples with more infighting and leadership rifts. Here are details in this story.
3 members of Alliance for Change, AFC, have crossed the floor to a partnership for national unity due to major rifts between the party, stemming from AFC going back on its stated position opposing the Amala Falls hydropower project. These persons are economist Tarun Kemraj, political science professor Equit Rose, and businessman Rab Mokraj. This newscast sought a comment from Alliance for Change leader Kemraj Ramjatan, who expressed disappointment over the fallout of the New York-based members and confirmed that it was indeed over Amala Falls. He noted that the party will have to move forward and continue its political work, adding that it will soon disclose the names of the persons who will be joining this fold. Meanwhile, APNU released a statement today revealing that leader of the opposition David Granger met with the deflectors in New York to discuss the way forward for the country. The release added that the two sides agreed to work together to build structures to improve governance, promote national unity, and advance human development. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
The CARI Forum dictatorate team says it is looking forward to productive sessions with the European Union as it announced plans for the 11th European Development Fund discussions in Guyana tomorrow. Samuel Suknandan tells us more.
Director General of CARI Forum Percival Murray said his team will be making strong representation for the region as the seminar kicks off tomorrow. Murray told media operatives here that his team plans to hold bilateral meetings with the European Union delegation, putting forward what the region hopes to accomplish from the funds obtained through the 11th EDF.
We think that coming out of those 2 meetings, the priorities of the region in terms of going forward with the 11th European Development Fund have been clearly identified and articulated. We think that the region is adequately prepared for dialogue with the European Commission on the content, management and implementation of an 11th EDF European Development Fund for the region.
The CARICOM official also emphasized the importance of the fund, stating that it could be dubbed the largest donor of grant resources for the region as a whole. He also noted the importance of such funding to the region's stability and economic development. However, Murray said that the region will have to make optimum use of the 11th EDF as it is being rolled out at a time when the EU member states are faced with fiscal and economic pressures.
We anticipate that tomorrow we will begin formally the joint programming process with the European Commission at that seminar, where the European Commission will give an indication of some of the proposals that they have in respect of approaches to regional programming. And we will compare the approaches that they have to some of the decisions we have made, the discussions that we have had, and the internalization that we have done.
The EU Commissioner for Development will take part in tomorrow's seminar to discuss future development cooperation under the 11th EDF, which will run from 2014 to 2020 for the Caribbean region. During the event, which takes place on September 19 to 20, the Commissioner is expected to confirm that the EU is ready to provide €1 billion under the next EDF in grants for the most vulnerable people in the Caribbean region. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan.
Thanks, Samuel. President Donald Ramatar presented awards to the top students of the recently concluded National Grade 6 Assessment Examination. Vanu Manikchan has details in this report.
Some 173 students from schools across Guyana were presented with notebook computers from President Donald Ramatar today at the Theatre Guild, Kingston. These students were placed among the country's top 1% at the recently concluded NGSA examination. After the results were revealed in early June, President Ramatar had promised to award all the top 1% students. At the handover ceremony, the president stated that this initiative is to assist the children in getting up to par with technology in the 21st century. He noted that technology will open a lot of possibilities for them.
In the world that you're growing up in, you're going to be challenged by many things. You are going to be challenged. You will need to be successful in the world of today and even more so tomorrow, to be multi-skilled and multidisciplined. And we want you to be able to use the most and to be competent in using the most modern tools in the world.
He also encouraged the students to take their education seriously, noting that while this is the beginning of one stage, there is still a long way to go.
When I look at all these young, bright faces in front of me, my confidence is once more strengthened that we can be a developed country in a not too distant future with your help. And more so, today, I want to equip you. So I said that you must not flounder, and you must go on and on to higher and higher levels in whatever field that you choose to do so in. And you must persevere and do not be distracted. A lot of distractions are out there.
Meanwhile, Education Minister Priyamanik Chan urges students to make themselves into persons who will celebrate more successes in their future.
This is the beginning of a great life for you. And you're doing it at a time in Guyana when it's exciting to be alive. I am happy that I'm this age, but I would be happy if I were yours too, because we have great opportunities now that people would not have had before. And so you get to be an actor, not in Guyana, not as a leader in Guyana. You have opportunities now where you can be a world leader. That's what we're preparing you for. We're preparing you to be a leader in this world. And the world is a global village. It's a small place these days. And so you have to think bigger. You don't want to be president of Guyana alone. You want to do things that will change the world.
A total of 16,811 students wrote the National Grade 6 Assessment Examination in March of this year, with 27 of them securing the top 10 marks from a possible total of 560. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchan.
Thanks, Vanu. The participation of businesses for GuyExpo 2013 has exceeded that of 2012, with 265 booths already confirming their involvement this year. This was disclosed by Tourism Minister Irfan Ali as the organizing committee sought to give an update on preparations for the event. According to Tourism Minister Irfan Ali, GuyExpo 2013 will feature 334 booths. To date, almost 265 booths have already confirmed their participation, with the remaining expected to register by the end of this week.
We also have a total of 14 companies expressing their interest and already signed up for participation from China. These companies are in the areas of manufacturing, plumbing, electronic, forestry, and mineral exploration.
He explained that 4 companies specializing in food, manufacturing, garments, and jewelry from India have indicated their interest in taking part in the event, while St. Lucia will also feature 4 companies from its manufacturing association. Argentina, on the other hand, will have a delegation looking for investment opportunities here, as well as the USA, Nepal, Trinidad, and Barbados. Meanwhile, Ali said the exposition would also be featuring new aspects that would assist companies to expand their businesses and modernize their plans. As such, the celebration of the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association's 50th anniversary will be one of the features of this year's event.
The first thing we have sort of put on the table and agreed to by the committee was to put in place what we call a business development forum that would attempt to expose our manufacturers.
That was GMSA President Clinton Williams. He said the forum will focus on showcasing businesses' products and services, accumulating resources from overseas investors, establishing business ventures with proposed partners, and ensuring foreign direct investments are agreed upon. Meanwhile, due to the congested traffic that is usually experienced en route to the Sophia Exhibition Center during GuyExpo, Ali said planners are investing into 2 new pedestrian entrances this year. GuyExpo is slated for October 3 to 6. A smash-up on Brick Dam last evening has left 1 dead and several others nursing minor injuries. 2 persons are in custody as investigations continue. Bishop Mohammed reports.
It was indeed a sad scene at Brick Dam in the vicinity of Louisa Row when a 22-year-old University of Guyana student was pinned under a minibus following a collision with a car. Public-spirited citizens had to rush to offer their assistance, but by the time the bus was leveled, it was clear that Linsford Gavin Daly was dead. Daly was a conductor operating the bus en route to Sophia. With more than 19 persons, they began their journey at about 21 hours 30. The overloaded minibus reportedly sped up Brick Dam with Daly upward body protruding out the bus.
I just passing down here, right, with the accident occur and going up the road east along Brick Dam. All I hear is a steady boom, like if it's a bomb go off, like, and this vehicle tap and see the minibus topple.
Daly, who was pursuing economics at the University of Guyana, resided at Lot 471 Nonprel, East Coast, Demerara. While at the Georgetown Public Hospital, one of the survivors, Sheldon McKenzie, told media operatives that he had warned the driver to slow down less than 5 minutes before the collision occurred. Daly's father, Alan Daly, said he rushed to the Georgetown Hospital after getting the news. According to him, his son was a part-time conductor for approximately 8 months. He is the eldest of 7 children. Meanwhile, the drivers of both vehicles are in police custody assisting with investigations. Bishop Mohammed, The Evening News.
A broad pro-Guyana approach is needed to stimulate the attainment of common goals in Guyana. This was the conclusion reached by the Partnership for National Unity and an overseas-based Guyanese team from New York. The overseas team consisted academic and monetary economist Taran Kemraj, Malcolm Haripal, Rab Mukraj, and Dr. Esquit Rose, while the APNU team included opposition leader David Granger and parliamentarian Joseph Harmon. The conclusion was based on a review of the current economic, political, and social situation in Guyana. They also agreed to work to build structures to improve governance, promote national unity, and advance human development. Rear Admiral Gary Best said accelerating aviation and maritime development is paramount to move the Ghana Defense Force forward in an effort to provide faster access to forest and remote areas and simultaneously provide hydrocarbon security. He made this call as he delivered his last speech as GDF's Chief of Staff. Sultana Marshall has the details.
Amid much pomp and ceremony, Rear Admiral Gary Best reinforced the need for advanced maritime and aviation resources as he officially retired from the post of Chief of Staff of the Ghana Defense Force on Tuesday evening. He believes that the interlinking of all key sectors and resources is a necessity.
Your Excellency, that a re-rationalization, a reprioritization, and a reallocation of key resources to the defense and security sector is now necessary for a safe and secure environment.
Best said his 33 years of service to the Defense Force in Guyana by extension was a remarkable venture. He was speaking at a change of command parade at Camp I in Ghana.
It is a sweet moment for me and for my family. It is a sweet moment for me that the Lord Jesus Christ has seen me through to the end with peace and tranquility. It is a sweet moment for me that I feel a sense of spiritual joy and accomplishment. And it is a sweet moment for me that I have given 33 years of service to the people of this great country.
But this is not the end of his service, as he has availed himself to serve in other capacities as he pursues his PhD in international relations at the University of the West Indies. His area of research focuses on climate change financing. Best also used the opportunity to congratulate his successor incoming Chief of Staff, Brigadier Mark Phillips, President Donald Ramotar, Commander in Charge of the Armed Forces, Prime Minister Samuel Hinds, Speaker of the National Assembly Raphael Trotman, Ministers of Government, parliamentarians and members of the Diplomatic Corps were among officials present. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Svetlana Marshall.
Two men who posed as customers on Tuesday evening escaped with an undisclosed sum of money from a lumber dealer at Cortland Currentine Berbice on Tuesday. The police are investigating the robbery committed on Chamani Sudu, a businesswoman of Lot 158 Cortland Public Road, Currentine. The woman was also beaten during the ordeal. Sudu was sitting under the house when the two men approached her, and one of them inquired about building materials, thus handed her an estimate. The other suspect reportedly proceeded to scramble the businesswoman by her neck, choked, kicked, and cuffed her, causing her to fall to the ground. They then took her to the upper flat of the two-story wooden and concrete building through an adjoining kitchen door. One of the bandits then picked up a knife and placed it to her hip. In fighting back, the woman managed to hit the knife out of his hands while cutting him on his left hand. He then dealt her several cuffs to her body, causing her to fall to the floor, while the other bandit took the cash, which was in a chair in the sitting room, and made good their escape. Do stay tuned, more news still ahead. Welcome back to the Evening News. Works on the four-lane highways for the East Coast and East Bank are progressing and will meet the established contractual deadlines despite setbacks encountered. Both the East Bank and East Coast four-lane extension projects, which are currently ongoing, ought to be completed by June of 2014, according to the Works Ministry's Manager of Roads and Bridges Department, Ron Rahaman. Despite contracts were awarded to construction firms last year, March, works on two additional lanes of the East Coast project only got underway earlier this year. This aspect of the project was divided into 6 lots, with lots 1, 2, and 5 awarded to Dipcon Engineering Services Limited. However, although the late start, Public Works engineers have said that the contracted companies are likely to meet the target of June 2014. Meanwhile, despite setbacks in carrying out works due to hindrances posed by utility poles and pipelines, construction of the highway on the east bank of the Marara is moving apace. Similar to the East Coast aspect of the project, the East Bank Highway was also divided into various lots for various contractors. In the meantime, a separate part of the East Bank project at Tamiri is said to be some 75% completed. The government of Ghana has secured $900 million for the undertaking of the East Coast four-lane expansion project, while $22 million Ghana will be expended into the East Bank aspect of the project. Reporting from Betafra-Wacton, East Coast Demerara, where works are ongoing, I am Leanna Bradshaw. A man who allegedly committed a murder some 14 years ago was on Tuesday charged for the offense at the Blairmont Magistrates Court. Joshua Ragabir, who is now 27 years old, has committed that on September 9, 1999, he raped and murdered Kiru of Lot 6 Blairmont No. 2 settlement. The woman was 67 years old, while Ragabir was only 13 years old. In April this year, Ragabir surrendered to the police at the Blairmont police station, and as a result of the confession, a statement was taken from Ragabir and he was arrested and placed in custody pending further investigation. After months of continuous investigations, the police were able to gather evidence for a conviction. Bail was refused and he was remanded to prison. The preliminary inquiry is expected to commence in October. Guyanese will have more choices in fast food here as 3 new international franchises open their doors this evening. Samuel Suknandan tells us more.
I'm standing in the corners of Lamahan, Albert Street's Georgetown, and behind me is the site for the new 704 Food and Entertainment Bar, which officially opens tonight. The 704 Food and Entertainment Bar is a magnificent edifice and is said to be the first in Ghana to bring together 3 franchises under one roof. Proprietor Alfro Alfonso confirmed that President Donald Ramotar has been invited to officiate at the opening ceremony today. The franchises, which is of today, will stand tall in competition, providing top quality service to meet the needs of Guyanese, while also serving to boost Guyana's tourism potential are Dixie Lee Chicken and Seafoods, Papa Pete's, and Miami Subs and Grill, which are all located on the ground floor of the building. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan.
A man is nursing laceration to his body and possible head injuries following an accident involving a motorcycle and a motor car on the number 43 public road on Tuesday evening. At the time of the accident, Gautam Balram, 22, of number 47 Village, Curtin, Berbice, was the rider on motorcycle CG 4296 and is presently a patient at the New Amsterdam Public Hospital receiving medical attention. The car that was involved in the accident bore trade plate B Bola number 2 and is owned and driven by Budram Bola of number 48 Village, Curtin, Berbice, while the motorcycle is owned by Ravi Autar of Rose Hall Town, Curtin, Berbice, and was driven by Danraj Draper. The motor car was stationary on the footpath at number 43 Village, Curtin, Berbice, while the motorcycle was proceeding along the roadway when the driver of the said motor car made a sudden right turn, resulting in the collision. More news after these messages. Stay tuned. You're tuned to TVG Channel 28. This is the Evening News. 2 men on the Essequibo coast were remanded to prison for the possession of narcotics when they appeared before Magistrate Solascars at the Charity Court. According to the police prosecution facts, Roy Singh of Anarijana and Leon Giro, also known as Kuli of Ondernemen Village, were found with 3 grams of cocaine in their possession on September 14, 2013 during a police patrol at separate locations. Singh, who was not represented by an attorney, pleaded not guilty to the charge. He will return to prison on October 16, 2013. Meanwhile, Giro, who was also unrepresented, made an application to bail but was denied due to the seriousness of the offense. He will return to court on October 4, 2013. The Guyana Women Miners Organization last evening hosted a church service to express thanks to God for His blessings that have led to the success of the body. Attending the church service hosted by President of the Guyana Women Miners Organization, Simona Brooms, were members of the body, diplomats, and other supporters of the organization. Addressing those present was U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Brent Hart, who acknowledged the magnitude of work the GWMO has undertaken within the space of time of its establishment. He noted that it has done much to raise women up and create opportunities in the mining sector by rescuing and protecting trafficking in persons victims. He therefore expressed his admiration at their accomplishments.
What Simona and her colleagues have recognized is that gender should not impede anyone's chances to pursue their interests and opportunities, nor should it impact an individual's ability to be treated with respect. So the Guyana Women Miners Organization has advocated for women who are denied pay simply because an employer feels a woman poses no threat or that she's weak and can be exploited. The GWMO has also championed the inclusion of women in the mining sector by advocating for skill training opportunities for women.
Hart also expressed thanks to God for the blessings bestowed on the GWMO and wished them continued success as they seek to protect Guyana's women. He said the award given to Brooms by his country recognizes the extreme bravery she has displayed in helping her country. Meanwhile, the GWMO president said the duties of the organization have changed her and she will continue in her quest to save TIP victims.
I want you to support me. When they lock me up, don't cry for me. I will sit there, I will stand there, I will lie there, and God will see me through. And myself and the Guyana Women Miners Organization, I am here to declare a message. And if I'm speaking on behalf of my ladies, I want to hear you. And the message that I have brought here tonight is to say that we declare war against trafficking in person.
Pastor Raphael Messiah, who is also present to give a sermon, congratulated Brooms on her energies thus far and encouraged her to maintain the good works. Nadira Rupchan, a 38-year-old single parent of Lima Sands on the Essequibo coast, was remanded to prison for the possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. The accused appeared before Magistrate Sunil Skars at a Charity Magistrates Court. Rupchan pleaded not guilty to the charge, which stated that on September 13, 2013, she was found with 30.5 grams of marijuana. She was represented by attorney Hemraj Rajkumar, who made an application for bail. However, bail was objected and she was remanded to prison until October 8, 2013. Leader of the opposition David Granger met military veterans last weekend to discuss matters affecting former members of the Guyana Defense Force. According to a release from the APNU, veterans expressed concerns about the challenges which some of their former comrades in arms in Guyana have faced. The release added that veterans were concerned particularly with those who required special attention and medication. As a result, Granger reminded that he had a drafted 10-point plan to improve the lives of ex-soldiers over 14 years ago. Do remember, for more on these and other stories, you can read tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times newspaper. And when you're not tuned to TVG 28, you can tune into Radio Guyana on 89.3, 5, or 7 FM. Your evening sport news is next. Welcome back, and now for your evening sport news sponsored by Macorp. In the headlines, 7 to participate in 3rd edition of Islamic Games. Upsets mark opening of trophy stall basketball. Boxing coach eager for course in Hungary. And new female club enters local football arena. Now for the details. Guyana will be participating in the 3rd edition of the Islamic Games, and from all indications, the athletes are expected to perform well. Tristan Joseph tells us more.
A 7-member team will be heading to Indonesia to participate in the Islamic Sports Solidarity Federation Islamic Games, set to begin from September 22nd. Athletes from athletics, karate, and taekwondo will be competing for Guyana, and President of the Guyana Olympic Association, K.A. Juman Yasing, expects them to give of their best.
I hope and I'm looking forward to good things from the team, especially Mr. George, as he has recently, as you know, been in Russia. And I wish them well.
Yasing explained that the 3 disciplines were chosen because taekwondo and karate hardly get the opportunity to represent Guyana, and athletics has always been a constant feature.
Taekwondo it's an Olympic sport. We need to give them an opportunity. And they don't get a lot of opportunities to go. So we give them that opportunity. Karate is a sport in the Pan American Games, not the Olympic sport as yet. They don't get much opportunities, and so we decided to give them the opportunity. And track and field, well, we're always there, so we decided to send as best a team as we can.
Chef de mission of the team, Ramjit Ramphal, believes that his team will have to take the bull by the horns in order to be victorious at the event.
I know the competition is going to be hard, but we have to rise to the challenge. We must rise to the challenge, and we must take it on. This is our way of moving on in the area of sports. And again, I must thank the GOA for allowing us this opportunity to make our competition successful.
Athletics will be represented by Olympic sprinter Winston George and distance athlete Elika Morgan, with Leslie Black as coach. Taekwondo will have 1 representative in Kewal Ramkiran, while karate will be represented by Natalie Gibson and Patrick Cheeks. The games are expected to end on October 1.
7th ranked team Block 22 Flames routed number 1 ranked Kashif and Shanghai Kings 55-38 in the Trophy Stall Basketball Championships over the weekend at the Mackenzie Sports Club Hardcourt, Linden. Selwyn Noble had had a team-high 13 points to lead the Flames. After 10 years, the Bankers Trust Falcons topped second-ranked Amelia Ward Jets 63-55 as Lawrence DeCosta dropped a game-high 14 points to lead the Falcons. The final game was a thriller with Retrieve Raiders holding off Half-Mile Bulls 65-64. Neil Marks scored 21 points. Amateur boxing is expected to receive a facelift after one of the sport's more qualified coaches returns from a coaching stint in Hungary. Tristan Joseph reports.
Coach of the Forgotten Youth Foundation gym, Seabert Blake, is awaiting his visa to travel to Hungary for the course next week. Blake, who has worked with some of the top local boxers in Guyana, noted that the course is an important one.
For me, just another shot at the arm for amateur boxing, whereas just a few months ago, the Olympic Association been putting some money into amateur boxing, whereas they're giving young boxers some stipends where they can able to offset some expenses for the upcoming Olympics, which is in Rio de Janeiro 2016.
With the course costing $15,000, Blake expressed gratitude to the Guyana Olympic Association that is sponsoring the entire trip.
I would basically take the opportunity to say thanks to the Guyana Olympic Association for offering to the Guyana Boxing Association the opportunity to lift the standard of boxing by giving me the opportunity to attend this course in Hungary.
Blake also assured that the knowledge he will gather while on the course will be used to benefit the boxers and boxing in Guyana.
I would guarantee that when I return from Hungary, I'll be sharing all the knowledge I've gained with the youngsters in Guyana and he'll be able to lift the standard of boxing in Guyana.
The coaching course concludes on December 6th.
Little Diva Flames FC was commissioned on Sunday with discussions of drafting a constitution dominating the discourse of the African Cultural Development Association Act building Thomaslands. Also, the election of office bearers will be conducted on September 28 at the Ghana Football Federation GFF office at 16 hours. The rules and constitution will also be ratified on that date, along with the identification of the coaches. Colin Baker of the Guyana Sports Development Foundation and proprietor of Sports Plus on Kwamina and Carmichael Streets has been named as patron of the club. He donated 10 balls to the club on Wednesday at the Sports Plus store. Stay tuned, your Bridge reports are next. Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbor Bridge will be closed on Thursday, September 19 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Thursday, September 19 at 16 hours 5 for a period of 1.5 hours. And that's your Tuesday, September 18 edition of the Evening News. I am Leanna Bradshaw. Thanks for joining us.